thinks. Monkey thinks.
Today, I want to talk about building vocabulary. A broad vocabulary is only as good as your ability to use the words that you've learned. There's no point in having 5 billion flashcards or books full of long, complicated words if you don't really know how they're used out in the real world. One of my favourite activities when it comes to learning new words is a game called Word Sneak. This is a game you can play at home, you can play it in the classroom, you can do it in the car on the way to school or in the park. You just have to slip words into your day-to-day speech in a way that doesn't make it obvious that that's what you're trying to do. So you can select a bunch of words at the beginning of a day or at the beginning of a week, or take them from the list of words that you've been learning at school, and you can score points every time you can get a word into a sentence without the person you're talking to realising that that's what you're trying to do. You can stage it as a sit-down conversation between teacher and child, parent and child, with everybody else in the family or classroom listening in. Before you start, you might write down a list of recently learned words, cut them up, put them in a little box, and each of you take them out at random so that the conversation is kind of dictated by the words that get picked out. I've asked one of my students to help me demonstrate this for you, so we're going to play a little game right now. So I've got Daniel here with me, and we're going to have a little game of Word Sneak. So you've got your selected words.
Yes.
I don't know what they are. Now, the aim of the game isn't just to slip in a word without it making sense. If you picked out a word like ambiguous, you can't just go, ambiguous. Look over there, ambiguous. What? So, Daniel, how's your weekend going so far?
It's going well. I own a horse in the countryside with my cousins up north. The trotting is quite incessant. I find it quite enjoyable.
What an extravagant life you lead. Occasionally, you might want to have a bit of fun with it where you slip in your own words that haven't been selected as a kind of red herring to trick the listener.
How's your weekend been?
I've hurt my back. I'm in agonising pain, to be honest with you. I'm hobbling around like an old man, and I can't wait to just get it sorted.
And then the people listening in, the other family members or other kids in the classroom, they can be making note as it goes along, trying to write down the words that they think you've slipped into the conversation.
Have you got any hobbies or interests that I don't know about, Daniel?
Well, I like hiking. I beseech you to try it out. It's really fun.
You know what? I love going on long walks. I find the views in the mountains totally mesmerising.
Sometimes it's not going to work very well, and the word that you've selected is going to be so glaringly obvious by the way that you've used it in the sentence. And when that happens, it can be quite funny. But that humour comes from being able to recognise where the word has been rightly or wrongly used. So it's still all part of the learning process, even when it goes wrong.
I also like playing the piano. I find it just generally appeases my soul.
That's quite a melodramatic way of putting it, but I like it. I didn't know that your soul needed appeasing. That's good to hear.
If they accurately spot a word that you've slipped in, then they get a point. If you manage to sneak a word past them without them noticing, then you get a point.
So which words do you think that I snuck into my side of the conversation?
Agonising.
Yes, that was on the list.
Melodramatic.
Yeah, that was on the list.
Oh yeah, mesmerising.
Yes,
Of yours.
I had mesmerising on the
Yes.
list. Yeah. And your ones, beseech
Yes.
and appease.
No, that was a red herring.
Ah, you got me. Incessant. You had incessant.
This time, play along with us. Listen carefully to our conversation and see if you can pick out which words we've selected.
So Daniel, are you much of a foodie? What kind of food do you like?
I like an array of cuisines. My favourite, I think, is Italian. I really like I like to relish the flavour and let the pang enter my mouth.
You know, I particularly like Chinese food. I love the aroma when you go into a Chinese restaurant. Just that wafting fragrance, never fails to excite me. Do you like sugary things? Do you like eating lots of sweets and chocolate?
Yeah, I really like saccharine foods. They really. I have a sweet tooth. That's the best way to put it.
Is your mum a good cook?
Yes, she makes mouth-watering food.
That's good to know. I'm not such a great cook. Some of the flavours I've produced in my cooking are absolutely hideous. There are some rancid aromas coming from my kitchen, honestly.
Now calculate your score, giving yourself a point for every word that you accurately picked out, and then award each of us a point for every word we managed to slip past you without you noticing.
Did you use array and array?
No, that was a red herring.
What about pang?
Red herring again?
Saccharin?
Yes, that was one of them.
Which other ones did you have?
Mouth-watering.
Yeah, mouthwatering.
Zines. I relish the taste.
Relish was a good one. What
Yeah.
about me? Which of my words did you pick out?
Aroma.
Yeah,
Fragrance.
that fragrance was a red herring. I didn't have that one.
Rancid.
Yeah,
It's so important to reward and incentivize the use of good vocabulary, and often that doesn't come from flashcards and textbooks. I hope you enjoyed playing Word Sneak, and I hope this video was useful. If it was, please give this video a like and check out more ideas like this on linkythinks.com.